How much does a trip to Amsterdam cost? Guys, in this video we are going to talk about what's the cost of all the items you need to organize a trip to the Netherlands. To get to know Amsterdam, which in my opinion is one of the most amazing cities we have ever visited in the world. So here's a cool video with all the costs, all the tips for you to spend an average of 10 days in the Netherlands. Very well used, guys. So let's go for the video and buckle up. Hey guys, for those who don't know me, I'm Gabriel Lorenzi, creator of the Grupo Dicas, one of the largest travel content networks in the world, and today we are going to talk about the cost of a trip to the Netherlands. How much does it cost to visit Amsterdam, stay there for an average of 10 days, visit the main places, stay in a nice hotel? I will explain here all the costs. This video is focused on Amsterdam costs, but what happens, the other countries in Europe, the tourist cities like London or Paris, have very close costs. So if you want to combine your trip with another city, this video will help you a lot to get an idea of the value, and then you can adapt, plan. You want to stay more days, you want to stay less days, this video will give you a guide to start designing your trip. But you can combine Amsterdam with other places too. It's very cool, it's already there. Enjoy and give that like here on the video, subscribe to the channel, that really helps us a lot. So let's go to start our values and costs. And guys, important tip before opening the table, come on, we calculated a trip with a duration of 10 days, okay? So it's a total of 10 days of traveling. All values that I put here for those 10 days already complete. Total value, it's the value per person. If you're traveling with 2 people, just multiply it by 2 and 3 by 3. But this value that will be here also is per person for 10 days of traveling and in a period of low and good season that we call. Why? In all of Europe, in all of the countries, June, July, and August is the European summer. Everything's much more expensive, so this year I researched it from October 1st to October 10th, which is a very good time to go to Europe. It's not cold yet, everything's cheaper, but if you intend to travel during the European summer, June, July, and August, then you will have to increase a little, 25-30%, because things are more expensive. This value is for the period of October during 10 days and per person. Then we'll put it in euros, okay? We'll not put it in any other currency because the euro is the official currency of the trip to Europe. So if I put another currency here, the exchange rate will vary. It will be a very big difference. 2 months from now, the way the market is volatile, it will go up and down. Then the whole exchange rate will change, so it will be a very distant value. So the safest and most practical way is for us to put here the values in euros, which is much more difficult to change. And then you can search on the date of your trip that you're watching the video, you can do the conversion, and during the video I'll also tell you the approximate value today. So officially opening our table, we're going to put 2 columns that you're seeing here that are 2 profiles. We always do that. The economic profile will put here the values for a person who wants to travel saving as much as possible on everything. They want to enjoy cheaper, they want to enjoy the trip, they don't worry about staying in a quieter hotel, not doing some tours, a very economical cost. And on the side, the comfort column, which we call the profile that wants to have a little more comfort, a little cooler hotel, do a little more tours, we'll spend a little more, and we'll have a little more complete trip. So we'll put these 2 profiles so you see which one you fit in, and let's go for the rest. So let's go, guys. The trip there costs in average 800 euros. You can try to search sometimes, as in Europe everything is very close. You can search sometimes for tickets to the closest countries, to the main tourist cities. There are many famous tourist cities in Europe that receive many flights, sometimes from Brazil, from the airport where you are located, from the country where you live. So there are several ways for you to search, okay? But nowadays, a ticket there leaving from my country, from the biggest airport in South America, which is São Paulo, we found here a price of 800 euros. It's a price that used to be cheaper, but after the pandemic the prices went up. It's a little bit more expensive. You can find cheaper prices, but with a lot of promotions, okay guys? You have to research a lot. And look, this price of 800 euros is a very good price, right? It's the price of the round trip, but it's more or less the price of an air ticket there. Converting it to our currency, it's a little bit expensive, it's a little bit high, but nowadays it's really good, a really good price for any air ticket tickets to Europe and in general in any country there you can find more or less the same thing. This value is going to be more or less the same for each one, but you can see if you have promotions or something else. Now the hotel, the lodging. How much are you going to spend for lodging? Guys, for the full 10 days of traveling, okay, we put here for 100 euros in the economy column and 600 euros in the comfort column. The economic is a slight simpler 3-star hotel with not very good reviews, and then the comfort one, which increases a little, going to 600 euros in total. We put a 3 or 4-star hotel with a better rating, a slightly nicer location, but both are good options, okay? Just for you to have an idea, I'll put some pictures of a hotel of this class at this average price that we looked for, just for you to have an idea, but they are already well located hotels, okay? I'll even take the opportunity to leave them here below in the description of the video and in the first fixed comment. The hotel we stayed at there, which was very good with excellent value for money. It was good, cheap, and well located. Take a look down here, search, because it was sensational, close to everything. We were able to do almost everything on foot. It was very nice. I'll leave below the link, guys, all the links to everything we use to make our trips, which are the places that we already know. We know that are the cheapest places, where to buy the cheapest travel chip, where to buy the cheapest hotel, where to buy the cheapest tickets, travel insurance, which is mandatory. Guys, I'll leave below a guide for you to plan your whole trip, saving the most on everything, okay? Then use the links here below in the first comment. You will save a lot of money during your entire trip with the best services. And now let's talk about transportation, how much you will spend to get around in these 10 days of travel. Just like many other cities in Europe, they are very similar. If you are well located, you don't need a car. You can easily do everything on foot. At some point or another, you have to take a cab, an Uber, or use the subway to get from the airport to your hotel. You have to pay a transfer to go there and then to come back. So we calculated an average that we put all the costs more or less per person. We'll put here 100 euros in the 2 columns is the cost for you to spend with transportation. There are some places that it's worth renting a car. For example, if you're going to travel in the interior of Portugal, Italy, or Germany, there are places that it's worth renting a car. It's very nice. The price will be a little bit more expensive than that, but then you have the freedom to do all the tours and trips that are amazing. But in general, we'll leave the 100 euros, which is what most people opt for when they travel to Europe in general. And now let's talk about the travel chip. To be able to use your cell phone and the internet in Europe, one of the ways, in our opinion, is the easiest, cheapest, simplest way for you to use your cell phone there. It's to buy a travel chip. These are prepaid chips that you buy. Most of the time it's much cheaper than international roaming of your local operator, the company you already have on your cell phone bill. So buy the chip. It's the easiest way to talk abroad. It's costing here the 5 GB plan, which is a very good package with a lot of internet for the 10 days of trip, which works in the whole of Europe independent of the other countries. The nice thing about this chip is that it works in all of Europe and it costs 40 euros per person. So 40 euros is the 2 columns. That's a pretty cool 5 GB plan. Now let's talk about food, guys. The food varies a lot, okay? It's very difficult to estimate, but I came up with a bill to be able to guide you a little bit. It's just for you to have an idea. I put here per day, per person, 40 euros per person in economy and 70 euros per person in comfort. So it was 400 and 700 multiplied by the 10 days of the trip, okay? This is a value. Can you spend less than this? Yes, if you go to the supermarket and buy a lot of pasta with 3 euros a day, you will survive. One thing is to survive and another thing is to enjoy the trip, not to have too much trouble. 40 euros, guys, I think is the minimum for you to be able to eat something nice at night. Eating a pizza, snacks, fast food is very cheap in the whole of Europe. You can share it with whoever is with you. Buy something at the market. Don't keep buying water, things. There are many tactics there to save money, but I think 40 euros for food in your whole day. I think that you will have coffee in the afternoon, you will have a beer, a drink, some candy, a snack, something, so we cover everything there. 40 euros and 70 euros for those who want a little more comfort to have lunch in a nice place. Guys, the restaurants there are sensational. The food there is very good, so enjoy. Take a nice place, go to a nice place in the afternoon, have some beer, watching the sunset, which is beautiful, so you will spend a little bit more, okay? This is the approximate value. And now the travel insurance. How much does international travel insurance cost? But Gabriel, do I really need to take out international travel insurance? Yes, you do. For Europe, it's mandatory. Even for the countries that are not, we always recommend that you take it because it's very cheap and it covers you from absurd expenses of fortunes that you would spend if you have an unforeseen event, get hurt, have an accident. So do it for everywhere in the world, but for Europe, it's mandatory for all countries except England. England and two more that are less frequented countries, but all of the other countries, it's only England that's not mandatory. To enter all the others, you need to have insurance, and insurance is very cheap. I'll put here for you to see. It's 30 euros per person, and it's an insurance that covers you during your whole trip with an obligatory rule of the European Union, which is a medical assistance of at least 30,000 euros. This is the requirement that Europe demands from tourists who travel there. You can get a very good insurance with this coverage. It's very cheap. I'll put it here. Don't forget to take it so you won't have the problems at the entrance. And this value, people, you will see that's very cheap. You might look somewhere and say, Gabriel, you are traveling, the value is very cheap, here it's much more expensive. Yes, it's because we are looking in the places we know that's cheaper. I'll leave all the links. Guys, use these links. This one, for example, is a comparator that compares in all travel insurance companies, and it finds the insurance cheaper than in the insurance companies themselves and for less than half of the price than in travel agencies. So these are places that we already know are the cheapest, so take a look, use the links to calculate your trip before you go see anywhere else, and you will see that the price can be a huge difference from there. And now let's talk about the tours. The tours are a little bit more difficult to stipulate, and why? Because, for example, in the economic column I put 0, because if you don't want to, you don't have to do any tours. Amsterdam is a beautiful city. You can stroll through the streets, pass the bridges, the canals, visit the museum square. You can do many things without having to spend, but of course we recommend that you do at least the main sightseeing tours. So we put in the comfort column 200 euros, which is the value for you to do at least 4 or 5 of the main tours. Going to Heineken experience, which is the Heineken factory, is a very cool experience of how beer is produced, a tour worth doing. Meet the Anne Frank House Museum, which is very cool history, a very striking thing worth your visit. The Van Gogh Museum is amazing. I found the coolest of all the museums in Amsterdam, and the boat trip through the canals, which in my opinion is the most iconic and coolest tour to do on your trip to Amsterdam. But this value of 200 euros is a value that I found adding on the website we use. It may be that you see elsewhere and it's more expensive. This website is very cheap, it's very good. I'll leave it down here also in the video description. Give it a search, check it out. For us, it's always the one with the best price. It's the most reliable. We always buy the tickets from Europe and almost the whole world there. And for those who live in Brazil, now they have the condition of peaks of payment. It's sensational because you do not pay the 6% IOF. It's an extra savings beside the price already being good, so it's a very good place. I'll leave down here too. Just to explain, this video is focused on costs, guys. Whoever has seen my videos here saw that in this video I gave less tips than I usually do. What to do, where to stay, how to organize. In this one I focused more on costs, guys. If you want to organize your trip to Amsterdam, type it on YouTube, how to travel cheaply to Amsterdam, Gabriel. Open this video of mine, that's sensational. It's a very complete video that we put together with all the tips for you to set up your entire trip, saving the most on everything and having a very cool trip with all the quality, with all their services and everything you need. So take a look there. That it's the initial guide for you to plan your entire trip to Amsterdam with all the best services that we know and that we use. And going to the final numbers, the economic profile for 10 days, 1,170 euros. Converted to our currency, both the economy profile and the comfort profile, it's expensive. So guys, this is the approximate value. It's very difficult to travel with less than this. There are people who sell much lower values, okay guys? There are people who sell much lower values of that. You can travel a lot more. Sometimes yes, but you have to get promotions. You have to include everyone. Just be careful with false promotions and some some scams that people normally use to do on tourists, so you have to pay a lot of attention and research a lot as well. And that's it, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you like it, please don't forget to give us the like and subscribe to the channel, because it really helps us a lot. And be sure to watch the other videos that are very good. I'll leave highlighted here the one about how to travel very cheaply there, and the playlist with all the other videos for you to enjoy and watch. Thank you very much and have nice trips.